There are 9 different generations of Pokemon games. In every single Pokemon game, there are certain features that make the games unique. Some of these features have stuck in new iterations, but there are also some features that were removed that should come back. And today, we're going to list these features that shouldn't been removed. Make sure to like and subscribe. Okay, let's start. The first Pokemon feature that shouldn't have been removed are the battle facilities. If you don't know what a battle facility is, then let me explain it to you. Basically, it's a location at the post game where the player can battle NPC trainers competitively. In each battle that you win, you'll be awarded battle points in which you can exchange for special items. This is a feature that has been recently removed in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet games. With the lack of a battle facility in the base game, people thought they were going to move the feature to the DLC, but nope. And unfortunately, I don't think this will be a one-time thing. Funny enough, people were begging for the Battle Frontier to come back, but now we can't even get a normal battle facility. Honestly, this removed feature kinda hurts me a little. Pokemon Sun was my first ever Pokemon game, and I remember having fun and messing around with the battle tree, and that one feature enlightened my experience with Pokemon. It's unfortunate that the only way you can battle competitively is through a paywall. So yeah, this feature shouldn't have been removed and should have been a staple in every single Pokemon game. The next Pokemon feature is writing your Pokemon. This feature was introduced in Pokemon Sun and Moon, in which you can write a variety of Pokemon that act like HMs from previous games. For example, if you unlock Tauros, then you could break through rocks, similarly to Rock Smash. Pokemon Let's Go took this feature a step forward in a good way. You can actually ride your own Pokemon that you've caught. If you caught a shiny Pokemon that is able to be ridden, it'll show up as shiny. There were so much variety of Pokemon that you could ride, ranging from Arcanine to subtle Pokemon like Starmie. No one expects that you can ride a Starmie, but here we are. This feature really brought the game to life. The Pokemon anime always shows other people riding their Pokemon, and it's nice seeing that we could do the same in the games as well. Unfortunately, this feature was replaced by the Rotom bike and Sword and Shield. The bike can traverse through land and water, just like Pokemon. I guess it was cool, but I still preferred riding the Pokemon instead. In Scarlet and Violet, the bike was replaced by the box legendary, Miraidon for Violet and Koraidon for Scarlet. And yes, I know it's technically riding a Pokemon, but I'd rather ride my other Pokemon. I like the freedom of choice, you know? But honestly, I can see this feature possibly coming back, maybe in like a remake, who knows? The next feature is the switch/set option, and this is another removed feature from Scarlet and Violet, and I'm genuinely confused on why this feature was removed. If you don't know, this is a setting that you can switch on and off. So you know how when you defeat a trainer's Pokemon, and if the trainer has other Pokemon, it'll ask you if you want to switch or not, but for some reason now, you can't turn off this prompt. You may be thinking, oh, what's wrong with that? Personally, I like the element of surprise, and I always turn this feature off, but since it isn't an option anymore, the element of surprise is gone. I remember when I first played Scarlet and Violet, I was just like constantly spamming B, just so I wouldn't know what Pokemon would be sent out next. I know, it's kinda goofy. And how can we forget about the DexNav? This is one of the best features from Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And yet, they took it away from us. The DexNav allows players to locate specific Pokemon in tall grass, caves, or water. It can detect hidden Pokemon that are partially visible in the overworld. These hidden Pokemon often have special abilities, rare moves, or higher stats. Each Pokemon species has a search level that increases as you encounter more of that species. A higher search level improves the DexNav's ability to provide detailed information about the Pokemon, such as its level, ability, and moves. By chaining multiple encounters with the same Pokemon species, you can improve the chances of finding a shiny Pokemon. In my opinion, this was the best way to shiny hunt. So tell me why they removed this feature. It was so good. Now we have to resort to the stupid generic Pokedex. Now, onto the last removed feature that they should have never removed, and that feature is the Dex Cut. Nah, I'm just kidding. Not gonna lie, I never really cared about the Dex Cut when it first happened in Sword and Shield. I mean, yeah, more is always better than less, but it wasn't really a big concern of mine. I know it was to many other people though. The last feature that I'm gonna talk about is roaming Pokemon. And you guys are probably confused and thinking I'm dumb or whatever, but let me explain. Roaming Pokemon were introduced in Pokemon Gold and Silver. Unlike regular wild Pokemon, roaming Pokemon move between different locations within a region, making them more challenging to encounter and capture. They often include legendary Pokemon. This feature was removed in Generation 6. People do not like this feature because it was annoying to track down the Pokemon, which I understand, but this feature was actually reintroduced in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Well, the DLC. In the Crown Tundra DLC, the 3 Galarian birds, Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres, will roam around the Galar region. Regions? I don't know. Zapdos in the wild area, Moltres in the Isle of Armor, and Articuno in the Crown Tundra. It was really fun seeing them in the wild rather than just random encounters, which I think made a lot of people frustrated. But seeing them in the overworld is cool overall. These Pokemon also had unique abilities as well. For example, Articuno is able to make clones to confuse the player. I want this type of feature to make a comeback in the future games. And I feel like the 3D aspects of the modern games can further envelop the Pokemon's behavior, unlike the old 2D games in which there were definitely technical limitations. Imagine if the Pokemon could like shoot beams or whatever to like stun the player as it tries to flee from you. This concept is like similar to Legends Arceus, but like that would be a cool addition to roaming Pokemon, wouldn't it? Whether it be rare Pokemon or any other legendary Pokemon, I just want this feature to be renovated. Anyways, that's about it. If you want to check out any of my other videos, click over here.